listen very carefully, because if your heart somehow found this video at this exact moment, it is not a coincidence. It is a sign, not from me, not from the algorithm, from Allah. There is something your soul has been trying to understand, something you've been feeling, but you couldn't put into words, something that keeps you awake at night, even when your whole body is tired. And tonight, you didn't click on this video. Your soul did. Because the truth is, you've been carrying a loneliness that no one knows about. A heaviness you've been hiding so well that even the people closest to you have no idea how much pain you are silently fighting through. But listen, what if the loneliness you're drowning in is not what you think it is? What if it's not a sign you've been abandoned? What if it's not a sign you're lost? What if it's not a sign you're breaking? What if it's a message? What if it's guidance? What if it's Allah trying to show you something your heart has been too distracted to see? There is a reason you feel disconnected from everyone. There is a reason nothing feels the same anymore. There is a reason you're being pulled away from people you once loved deeply. And if you stay till the very end, you will understand why Allah allowed this season in your life, why He separated you, why He quieted your world, why He shut certain doors that you were begging Him to keep open. You think you know why you're hurting, but the real answer is something you haven't heard yet. And tonight, somewhere in the middle of this video, Allah has written a line for you, a line that will make everything and you've been feeling finally make sense. A line that will open the part of your heart that has been locked for years. A line that might change the entire direction of your life. So don't rush, don't skip, don't click away, because what you're looking for is not in the beginning. It's hidden somewhere later, written just for you. A whisper, a message, a truth you've been waiting your whole life to hear. Stay with me, because by the time we reach the end, you will finally understand why Allah made you walk through loneliness, only to show you that you were never walking alone. Lesson 1. Loneliness is the place Allah brings His best servants. Listen closely. Your loneliness was never random. Your emptiness was never a mistake. Your silence was never a punishment. Every moment of feeling alone was written with purpose, designed with intention, and sent with love from Allah Himself. You didn't end up alone because you were unworthy. You ended up alone because your soul needed a place where Allah could finally speak to you without interruption. And sometimes that place feels like a dark room. Sometimes it feels like a cold bed. Sometimes it feels like a lifetime of unanswered messages and unreturned love. But in reality, it is the most sacred meeting room between you and the one who never leaves. There are people Allah calls with blessings. There are people Allah calls with success. There are people Allah calls with joy. But then there are special people, chosen people, whom Allah calls through loneliness, because only loneliness forces you to return without pride. Only loneliness breaks you open enough for guidance to enter. Only loneliness removes the voices of the world, so the voice of your Lord can reach your heart without distortion. You didn't lose your people. You didn't lose your circle. You were not abandoned by the world. Allah simply turned the volume down on everything that was distracting you from Him. There were nights you stared at the ceiling wondering, what is happening to me? Why do I feel so disconnected? Why does it seem like nobody understands my heart? And Allah was whispering, "Come to me. You have given too much of your soul to those who didn't know how to carry it. Let me heal what they mishandled. You thought loneliness made you weak, but loneliness made you honest. It made you raw. It made you real. It stripped you of all the masks you used to wear in front of people. It forced you to meet yourself in your purest form. And do you know what Allah does? With a heart that is pure, honest, broken, and open, He lifts it. He rewrites it. He strengthens it in silence before He reveals it to the world. You didn't know it then, but every tear you cried alone, it was counted. Every sigh from your chest was heard. Every moment you sat silently, trying to be strong, was witnessed by the One who knows strength better than anyone. You see, loneliness is not a dark corner. It is a divine doorway. You walk through it thinking you have nothing left, but you walk out holding a strength and you never imagined was inside you. There were days when your heart felt hollow, when conversations felt empty, when smiles felt fake, when everything around you seemed distant and colorless, and you blamed yourself. You thought something was wrong with you, but your soul was just tired of feeding from temporary sources. It needed a sip of something eternal. It needed the sweetness of sujood. It needed the peace of turning back to Allah. When Allah wants to fix you, He doesn't always bless you with more. Sometimes He blesses you with less. Less people, less noise, less distraction, less comfort, because too much comfort can make you forget Him. Too many people can drown out His whispers. Too much noise can bury your heart under conversations that don't benefit your soul. So He removes everything one by one. The people, the attachments, the illusions, the plans you held onto too tightly, the things you thought you needed to survive. And suddenly, you're left with yourself, your thoughts, your fears, your memories, your wounds, your prayers. This is where the real transformation begins. This is where Allah pulls you away from the life you built on your own, so He can rebuild you on foundations that don't break. People think loneliness destroys you, but loneliness is where you discover that you were never meant to be held by people anyway. There is a moment in everyone's life when Allah shakes the heart just enough for it to fall out of the hands of creation and land back in the hands of the Creator. Your moment was your loneliness. There were times you wished someone would ask if you're okay. Times you hoped someone would stay. Times you prayed for a message, a call, a voice, anything to make the emptiness feel smaller. And when none of it came, your heart broke in a way that forced it to turn upward. That upward turn was not weakness, it was guidance. That cry in the middle of the night was not sadness, it was purification. That ache in your chest was not depression, it was Allah pulling your soul toward Him with a softness as you didn't yet understand. You thought you were losing everything, but you were losing only what was blocking you from becoming who Allah wants you to be. Some people are lifted with support. Some people are lifted with blessings. But the ones Allah wants closest are lifted with loneliness, because loneliness creates sincerity. It creates humility. It creates devotion. It creates a love for Allah that isn't shared or influenced by the world. When you finally stood in sujood with no one left to rely on, that was not sadness. That was elevation. When you whispered, "Ya Allah, help me," and with tears that no one saw, that was not weakness, that was rebirth. When your heart cracked silently and you hid your pain from everyone, Allah was closer to you in that moment than He ever was when your life was full. Do you see it now? You were never alone. You were only alone from people. You were never alone from Allah. Your loneliness was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of the chapter He always wanted you to reach. You thought you fell apart, but you were actually falling into place. Your loneliness was not empty silence. It was Allah reorganizing your heart so it could finally hold the blessings He has been saving for you. Your loneliness was not darkness. It was the moment before dawn. And soon, the light will make sense. Lesson 2. When Allah removes people, He is protecting your soul. Listen, there are moments in life when people walk away without warning. Moments when someone you trusted suddenly becomes distant. Moments when the ones you cared for begin to feel like strangers. And you sit there wondering, what did I do wrong? Why did they change? Why did everything fall apart so fast? But what if the truth is, nothing fell apart? Everything fell into place. What if Allah removed them? Not because you were unworthy, but because your soul was too precious to stay in the hands of someone who didn't know how to hold it. You see, Allah sees what you don't. He hears conversations you never heard. He watches hearts you can't read. He knows the intentions behind every smile, the envy behind every hug, the darkness behind every compliment. And when He sees something that could harm your soul, He does not wait. He removes, He separates, He cuts the connection before the damage becomes permanent. You call it heartbreak. Allah calls it protection. There were people in your life who looked loyal on the outside, but carried poison on the inside. People who clapped for you publicly, but competed with you secretly. People who said they loved you, but their hearts tightened when Allah blessed you. And Allah saw every bit of it, so He didn't wait for their betrayal to break you. He didn't wait for their jealousy to crush you. He didn't wait for their true face to destroy your peace. He removed them, quietly, gently, silently, even if it hurt you. Because sometimes a painful removal is better than a comfortable trap. There were people you thought and would stay forever. People you trusted without questioning. People you loved so deeply that you ignored every sign. But Allah didn't ignore them. He saw every piece of you that they were taking advantage of. He saw the innocence of your heart colliding with the darkness of theirs. He saw you giving everything to someone who gave you almost nothing. And He said, "Enough. This heart belongs to me. I will not let it break for the wrong soul." So He ended it. Not because you didn't deserve love, but because you deserved better love than what you were settling for. There were friends you trusted, family you relied on, people you believed in, who were slowly draining you without you noticing. Every conversation left you emptier. Every moment with them felt heavier. Every time you tried to grow, they reminded you of who you used to be, just to keep you small. But Allah saw the truth. He saw how their presence was delaying your destiny. He saw how their words were planting doubt in your heart. He saw how their energy was pulling you away from Him, so He took them away. Not as a punishment, but as a rescue. You didn't lose anything. You were saved. There were people you begged Allah to keep, people you fought for, people you prayed for, People you cried for, but what you didn't know was you were crying for a chapter, and that would have destroyed your story. Allah doesn't remove people to leave you empty. He removes them to make space for something pure, something peaceful, something meant for your heart. A heart like yours cannot stay attached to what breaks it. A soul like yours cannot stay chained to what harms it. A spirit like yours cannot grow in places where it is not valued. That is why removal happens. That is why separation is written. That is why the distance begins. It is not rejection. It is redirection. You see, not everyone can walk with you to the next stage of your life. Some people are meant only for a season, not a lifetime. Allah knows who will help your future and who will interrupt it. He knows who will lift you and who will limit you. He knows who will inspire you and who will drain you. So He removes the ones who cannot go where He is taking you. You thought they left you behind, but the truth is, Allah pushed them aside so you could move forward. There were moments when you felt abandoned, moments when you felt the sting of being replaced, moments when you watched people choose others right in front of you. What you didn't see was this: Allah was positioning you for something they were never part of. He was separating you from hearts that could not love you truthfully. He was protecting you from souls that carried hidden harm. Sometimes Allah protects your future by removing people from your present. Every goodbye was for your growth. Every exit was a blessing in disguise. Every person who walked away took pieces of burden with them, burdens you didn't realize you were carrying. You're lighter now, more open, more free, more peaceful, and you owe that peace to the removals that felt painful at first. There were people you thought would be in your story forever, but their chapter ended, not because you lacked anything, but because their role in your life was complete. Just like a teacher leaves. When the lesson is over, people leave. When their purpose in your life is fulfilled, Allah replaces attachment with independence. He replaces distraction with clarity. He replaces emotional noise with inner peace. You lost people, but you gained yourself. You lost connections, but you gained direction. You lost comfort, but you gained wisdom. Every removal was rewriting your destiny in ways you will only understand later. Allah's protection does not always feel like protection. Sometimes it feels like heartbreak, confusion, silence, isolation, and distance. But everything Allah removes is replaced with something far more beautiful than what you begged Him to keep. People leaving is not a sign that your life is falling apart. It is a sign that your life is being reorganized according to His mercy. Allah will never take from you without planning to give you something better. And when that better arrives, you will whisper, "Ya Allah, now I understand." Lesson 3. The silence you're living in is not empty. It's healing. There comes a time in every believer's life when everything around them becomes quiet. Not just normal quiet, but a deep, heavy silence that sits in the chest, like a weight you cannot explain. You look around and life feels muted. The people who used to talk to you talk less. The ones who used to care grow distant. The world that once felt loud becomes strangely still. And you start to ask yourself, why does everything feel so silent? Why do I feel disconnected? Why does my life feel paused? But what you see as silence Allah sees as healing. Allah sees a heart that has been carrying too much, a soul that has been running too fast, a mind that has been fighting too many battles, a spirit that has been whispering for rest, even when your mouth said, "I'm okay." So He gives you silence, not the silence of loneliness, the silence of repair, the silence of spiritual surgery, the silence of Allah working on you in ways you cannot see. There were wounds inside you that you didn't even know existed, wounds from disappointment, from betrayal, from pressure, from heartbreak, from expectations, from the weight of being strong for too long. Allah saw every wound. He saw the ones you ignored. He saw the ones you hid. He saw the ones you smiled through. He saw the ones you said, "It's fine" about. And He said, "Enough. It's time for you to heal." So He placed you in silence. The silence you're living in is not an empty space. It is a sacred space. It is the moment before dawn breaks. It is the pause before growth begins. It is the breath you take before you rise again. Silence is where Allah cleans the heart. Silence is where He removes the noise, so clarity can finally speak. Silence is where your soul regains strength that the world drained out of you. You think nothing is happening in your life, but in the unseen, everything is happening. Your heart is being rewired. Your mind is being reset. Your soul is being polished. Your iman is being rebuilt from the inside out. Sometimes the noise in your life, it was too loud for you to hear your own thoughts, your own needs, your own feelings, your own connection with Allah. Noise can come from people. Noise can come from expectations. Noise can come from stress. Noise can come from the pressure to be okay when you're breaking inside. So Allah turns off the noise. Conversations dry up. Plans fall apart. People disappear. Life slows down. Everything becomes still. Not because something went wrong, but because something inside you needed room to breathe, room to heal, room to grow. Silence is not the absence of life. It is the beginning of a new one. Ask yourself, why do you feel the closest to Allah when everything is quiet? Why do your tears fall the deepest in the middle of the night? Why does your heart soften only when the world stops speaking? Because in the silence, Allah finally has your full attention. He's been trying to reach you through blessings, through people, through moments of joy, through moments of ease. But nothing reached you like silence did. Silence broke the walls that your strength could not break. Silence revealed the truth that busyness tried to hide. Silence exposed the thoughts you kept running from. Silence allowed your heart to finally hear what your soul had been trying to say for years. The silence you're living in is not here to destroy you. It is here to rebuild you. There were pieces of you that were scattered everywhere, in the people you gave too much to, in the dreams you chased, in the emotions you ignored. Allah brings silence to gather those pieces back into your hands. The world sees silence as emptiness, but to Allah, silence is medicine. It is water for the dry soul. It is air for the tired spirit. It is light for the confused mind. In silence, you learn what truly matters. You learn who truly loves you. You learn what truly strengthens you. You learn that Allah has always been the one carrying you. Silence has a way of revealing who you are without the world's noise. And when your heart becomes quiet, that is when Allah's whispers become the clearest. Come back to me. I am with you. I haven't forgotten you. You're not falling apart. You're being rebuilt. I am healing what you cannot understand yet. There are blessings that can only be received in silence. There are answers that can only be heard in silence. There is growth that can only happen in silence. This is why Allah placed you here, not to punish you, not to isolate you, not to hurt you, but to prepare you. You're in a season of quiet, because the next season of your life requires strength that noise could never give you, requires clarity that chaos could never create, requires peace that people could never provide. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. It sits in complete silence, in darkness, in stillness. From the outside, it looks dead, it looks forgotten, it looks lost. But inside, it is growing roots. It is gaining strength. It is getting ready to break the ground and rise into something beautiful. Your silence is the soil. Your heart is the seed. Allah is the one preparing your bloom. And the world will see your growth only when Allah is ready to reveal it. Your silence is not a sign that your life is slowing down. It is a sign that Allah is getting ready to speed it up in directions you don't expect. Sometimes He slows you down to protect you. Sometimes He slows you down to strengthen you. Sometimes He slows you down so you don't walk into blessings before your heart is stable enough to hold them. Silence is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the sunrise before the light. It is the preparation before the miracle. It is the stillness before the breakthrough. And when Allah is done healing you, you will understand why everything became silent. You will realize that the quiet was not empty at all. It was full of mercy, full of protection, full of unseen kindness, full of a healing you didn't even know you needed. Lesson 4. You're alone from people, but surrounded by Allah. There are moments in life when people grow distant without giving you a reason. Moments when the ones you trusted most become strangers overnight. Moments when your heart feels like it's standing in the middle of a crowded world, completely unseen. You wonder why you always end up alone. You wonder why no one stays. You wonder why, no matter how much you give, you're the one left with silence at the end. But listen, you're not alone. You're only alone from people. And sometimes that is the greatest mercy Allah gives. Because people see your smile, but Allah sees your exhaustion. People hear your voice, but Allah hears your silence. People notice your presence, but Allah notices your pain. People see who you are on the outside, but Allah sees everything. Your heart hides on the inside. You think your loneliness is empty, but your loneliness is full of Allah's closeness, full of His protection, full of His mercy, full of His unseen care. There is a reason why people walked away. There is a reason why relationships faded. There is a reason why life pushed you into this season of being by yourself. Allah wanted to remove the distractions He knew your heart could not handle. Allah wanted to take you away from voices that were feeding your confusion. Allah wanted to give you space so your heart could finally hear Him. You were never created to be held by temporary hands. You were created to be held by the one who never lets go. People walk with you for a distance, but only Allah walks with you forever. People take parts of you when they leave, but Allah fills you with more. When everyone else empties you. There were nights when you cried quietly into your pillow, wishing someone would check on you, wishing someone would say, "I'm here," wishing someone would feel the weight you were carrying alone. But what you didn't realize was this: Allah was with you in every tear. Allah was with you in every sigh. Allah was with you in every moment. Your heart collapsed in silence. He was closer than the sadness that wrapped itself around your chest. He was closer than the thoughts that kept you awake at night. He was closer than your own breath. If Allah wanted distance from you, He would have filled your life with noise, with crowds, with distractions, and with people who kept you busy and far from Him. But He didn't. He cleared your path. He emptied your circle. He cut off what was pulling you away. He isolated your heart so He could surround your soul with Himself. Being alone from people does not mean your value disappeared. It means your value became too high for certain people to handle. There were people Allah removed because He heard words they never said in front of you. He saw intentions you weren't meant to see. He witnessed actions that would have crushed you if you found out too late. So He protected you quietly, lovingly, perfectly. You think people left you, but Allah is the one who wrote their exit. He removed them before they could break you deeper. He distanced them before their presence damaged your faith. He pushed them away before their energy drained your soul. Sometimes people leaving is not rejection, but redirection, a redirection back to Allah. There will be moments when you feel like you're walking alone, moments when life feels quiet, when your phone barely rings, when your days feel empty, when your nights feel long. But these moments are not emptiness, they're invitations. Invitations to talk to Allah the way you've always wanted to. Invitations to sit with yourself and rediscover who you are. Invitations to rebuild a connection with Allah that the world was blocking. You're not losing people, you're gaining Allah. You're not being pushed into isolation, you're being pulled into protection. You're not being abandoned, you're being prepared. You're not becoming invisible, you're becoming surrounded by a presence so gentle, so powerful, so fulfilling that no human could replace it. Think about it. How many times did you depend on people more than you depended on Allah? How many times did you expect from people what only Allah could give? How many times did you hold on to someone as if they were the source of your peace? And Allah, out of His love for you, removed them so you could return to the only one who never disappoints. You kept searching for comfort in people when Allah is the comforter. You kept searching for support in humans when Allah is the supporter. You kept searching for understanding from the world when Allah is the one who understands even the emotions you don't know how to explain. People hear your words, Allah hears your heart. People see your face, Allah sees your soul. People judge your mistakes, Allah judges your intentions. People may forget you, ignore you, replace you, or misunderstand you, but Allah never does. Every time you whispered, "Ya Allah," He responded. Every time your chest tightened with sadness, He softened it. Every time you worried about tomorrow, He wrote a better plan than you could imagine. You're walking a path that people can't see, but Allah walks every step with you. You're carrying feelings, People don't understand, but Allah understands every heartbeat. You're trying to stay strong when no one knows the battle inside, but Allah knows every moment. You almost broke. You think you're alone in this life, but the truth is, your soul is surrounded by the most merciful, the most loving, the most near. Even the moments that felt like abandonment were actually moments of closeness. Closeness in disguise. Silence in disguise. Mercy in disguise. Protection in disguise. Allah removed people so He could become enough for you. Allah removed people so you could stand again without depending on anyone but Him. Allah removed people so your heart could finally rest without fear of being broken again. You're not alone. You're just being guided through a chapter that only Allah was meant to walk with you. This loneliness is not your prison. It is your shelter. This quiet is not your punishment. It is your healing. This isolation is not your ending. It is your beginning. You are surrounded by mercy, surrounded by angels, surrounded by the One who knows every detail of your life, better than you know yourself. Soon, this season will make sense. Soon, you will look back and say, Ya Allah, thank you for removing what I thought I needed, so I could finally see that all I ever needed was you. Lesson 5. Your loneliness is the hardest proof Allah loves you. There are moments in life when you look at yourself and wonder, why do I feel so alone? Why does it feel like Allah is taking everyone away? Why am I walking through this life with a heart that feels empty? But the truth is, your loneliness is not a sign that Allah abandoned you. It is a sign that Allah is choosing you, loving you, purifying you, and calling you in a way He does not call everyone. Loneliness is not the absence of love. Loneliness is the shape of Allah's love, when He wants your heart entirely for Himself. When Allah loves someone deeply, He does not let their heart belong to the world. He does not let their soul get attached to temporary hands. He does not allow their peace to rest in places that are fragile, empty, or harmful. So He pulls them away. He separates them. He isolates them. He makes them walk through seasons of being unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. Not because He is punishing them, but because He is protecting the sacred tenderness that He placed inside them. Your loneliness is proof that your heart is too valuable for the wrong people. Allah removes people so your heart stops being fed by temporary love and starts being fed by Him. He removes support so you stop leaning on weak shoulders and start leaning on the One who never breaks under your weight. He removes comfort so you stop finding peace in the world and start finding peace in His nearness. He removes distractions so you stop chasing noise and start hearing His whispers. Every tear you cried alone was not a sign of weakness. It was a sign of being chosen. Chosen for a deeper connection. Chosen for a stronger faith. Chosen for a level of reliance that only loneliness can teach. There were moments your heart felt like it was collapsing from the inside. Moments when the silence in your room felt too loud. Moments when you held your own hands because no one else was there to hold them. Moments when your soul felt too heavy to carry. But what you didn't see was that every one of those moments was filled with angels around you. Every one of those moments was watched by the most merciful. Every one of those moments, it was written as a form of worship. When you suffer in silence, Allah is witnessing every heartbeat. When you cry without sound, Allah is recording every tear. When you force yourself to stand again, after breaking quietly, Allah is raising you in ways the world will never understand. Your loneliness is not empty. It is full of unseen mercy, full of hidden protection, full of divine attention, full of Allah's love. There were times you begged Allah to give you a person who would understand your heart, and Allah did not answer that dua, not because He ignored you, but because He wanted to be the one who understood you first. You asked for someone to listen, but Allah wanted you to talk to Him. You asked for someone to stay, but Allah wanted you to realize He never left. You asked for someone to hold you, but Allah wanted to show you that His mercy holds you tighter than any human ever could. If Allah allowed you to have every person you wanted, every friendship you clung to, every love you chased, your heart would never return to Him. Your loneliness is a sign that Allah wants you back. He loves you enough to remove you from the wrong people. He loves you enough to let your heart break so it can grow. He loves you enough to let you walk alone so you can walk toward Him. You see, the heart that Allah loves the most is the heart He empties. He removes every attachment and that competes with Him. He clears every emotion that blocks your spiritual clarity. He softens you through silence so you can finally feel His gentleness. And in that silence, your soul begins to heal in ways you couldn't even pray for. Your loneliness is shaping you. It is polishing you. It is preparing you. It is detoxing your soul from the love of this world. Every lonely moment is a brick in the foundation of the strongest version of you, the version Allah is building in private. Don't you see? Allah isolates the hearts He intends to elevate. He chose you for nights filled with whispered du'as. He chose you for mornings where your only strength was His mercy. He chose you for a journey that requires a deeper connection than others have. People say loneliness is a curse, but loneliness with Allah is the beginning of miracles. Loneliness is where your faith grows roots. Loneliness is where tawakkul becomes real. Loneliness is where your soul learns that Allah is enough and has always been enough. There were moments you placed your head on the prayer mat and felt like it was the only place your heart could breathe. That feeling was not sadness, that was your soul finding home. There were moments you looked at the sky and felt something inside you soften. That softness was not weakness, that was Allah, reminding your heart that He is near. There were moments you whispered, "Ya Allah, help me," with a voice trembling from pain. That whisper was not desperation. That was love, real love, the kind of love that only blossoms and when the world goes silent. Your loneliness is not your enemy. Your loneliness is your teacher, your healer, your purifier, your guide back to Allah. And one day, you will look back at this season and realize it was the most sacred part of your entire life. You will say, "I thought I was alone, but Allah was wrapping me in mercy. I thought I was forgotten, but Allah was choosing me. I thought my heart was breaking, but Allah was rebuilding it into something stronger, softer, purer, and closer to Him." Your loneliness is not a sign of being abandoned. It is a sign of being loved in the most special way. Lesson 6. Nothing is stuck. Allah is working in the unseen. There are days when you look at your life and all you see is stillness. No movement, no progress, no shift. Everything feels paused. Everything feels delayed. Everything feels stuck. You stare at your du'as and wonder why they haven't unfolded. You stare at your problems and wonder why they haven't lifted. You stare at your future and wonder why it still feels blurry. And you start asking yourself, Ya Allah, did I do something wrong? Why is nothing changing? Why does everything feel frozen? But what you call stuck, Allah calls preparation. Nothing in your life is paused. Nothing in your life is delayed. Nothing in your life is still. Allah is working in the unseen. Every second, every moment, every breath you take. Just because you don't see movement, it doesn't mean the story isn't moving. Behind the curtain of your life, Allah is arranging hearts, aligning moments, opening doors you don't know exist yet, and removing dangers you never even saw coming. Your life is not stuck. Your visibility is limited. You see the surface. Allah sees the foundation. You see the delay. Allah sees the perfect timing. You see the silence. Allah sees the construction. Sometimes Allah slows you down because He's building something that requires patience, strength, and precision. And if He gave it to you too early, your own heart wouldn't be ready to hold it. Think about it. You ask Allah for peace, so He removes the people who disturb your soul. But it takes time. You ask Allah for clarity, so He exposes the things that cloud your heart. But it takes time. You ask Allah for a better life, so He dismantles the parts of your old life that were blocking your growth. But it takes time. You ask Allah for a future filled with light, so He pulls you out of places that were keeping you in darkness. But it takes time. The time you hate is the time Allah uses to build what you prayed for. Nothing is stuck. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Even the stillness you fear is part of the plan. Allah is not ignoring you. He is aligning everything for you, all so perfectly, that when it arrives, you'll understand why the wait was necessary. There were situations you begged for, cried for, prayed for, and Allah didn't give them to you. Not because He rejected you, but because He was protecting you from something you didn't see. Some chapters must end, so new ones can begin. Some doors must close, so the right ones open. Some delays must happen, so your destiny doesn't arrive before you're strong enough to carry it. You're not stuck. You're being prepared. Your heart is being prepared for blessings that won't break you. Your soul is being prepared for a future that suits who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You feel like nothing is moving, but every day Allah is rearranging your life in ways you don't notice yet. He is sending angels to protect you from things you don't even know you were saved from. He is turning people away who were not meant to be part of your future. He is closing roads that would have led you to heartbreak. He is clearing paths that your feet will walk on soon. The paths your heart has been praying for silently. Sometimes delay is not delay at all. It's Allah fixing everything around you. So one day, it all matches the dua you made. You ask for healing, but healing takes time. You ask for peace, but peace requires detachment. You ask for strength, but strength is built in quiet seasons where you feel alone. You're not being delayed. You're being transformed. The person you were cannot walk into the future. Allah is writing for you. You need a new heart, a new level of patience, a new level of tawakkul, a new level of surrender. Allah is not slow. He is perfect. Every moment of nothing happening is actually something happening in the unseen, so much bigger than you expect. Think of a seed buried in soil. From the outside, it looks stuck. It looks dead. It looks forgotten. But in the unseen, it is growing roots. It is becoming stronger. It is preparing to break the ground. At the exact moment, Allah decrees. Your life is that seed. Your silence is that soil. Your delay is that hidden growth. One day, everything will make sense. One day, everything will connect. One day, everything will unfold, exactly as it was meant to. You will look back and say, if this happened earlier, I wouldn't have been ready. If this happened my way, it would have broken me. If this happened sooner, I would have ruined it. Allah is timing your life with a precision you cannot understand yet. Not stuck, guided, not posed, protected, not delayed, prepared, not forgotten, deeply, deeply cared for. Allah's plan for you did not stop working. You just stopped seeing it. He is working on your life, even when you're sleeping, working, crying, or doubting. Even when you whisper, Ya Allah, when He whispers back, when the time is right, the unseen world moves. Because of your whispered du'as, the angels carry your prayers. Even when you feel tired, the mercy of Allah surrounds you. Even when you feel nothing, your life is not frozen. Your blessings are not gone. Your future is not denied. It is unfolding, slowly, silently, perfectly, beautifully, and soon you will step into a chapter that will make you grateful for every moment you thought nothing was happening. Lesson 7. Alone is where Allah shows you who you really are. There comes a moment in your life when Allah removes every distraction, every voice, every crowd, every noise that once filled your days. You find yourself in a place you never expected to stand, completely alone. Not lonely because you have no one, lonely because your soul is shifting, lonely because Allah is preparing you, lonely because the next chapter of your life cannot be built in front of an audience. And even though being alone feels heavy, painful, quiet, and sometimes unbearable, this season carries one of the greatest secrets of life. When Allah isolates you, He is about to reveal the real you, a version of you that pain could not destroy, a version of you that heartbreak could not bury, a version of you that old wounds could not silence, a version of you that your past could not limit, a version of you that is stronger, softer, wiser, and more spiritually awake than anything you've ever known. But this version of you cannot be discovered in crowds. It cannot be discovered in friendships. It cannot be discovered in comfort. It cannot be discovered in noise. It can only be discovered when you are alone with Allah. Because when you are alone, there is nowhere to hide, no one to impress, no role to play, no mask to wear, no expectations pressing on your chest, no need to pretend you are okay. In that silence, in that emptiness, in that quiet space, you finally meet yourself, the self you ignored, the self you avoided, the self you kept pushing aside while trying to be everything for everyone else. When Allah wants to show you who you really are, He places you in moments where no one else can define you. People don't see your potential. Allah shows it to you in solitude. People don't understand your heart. Allah opens it in solitude. People don't see your strength. Allah reveals it in solitude. Your alone season is not a punishment. It is a revelation of truths you were too busy to notice, a revelation of wounds you were too distracted to heal, a revelation of strengths you didn't know you carried, a revelation of faith that was buried under years of noise. You see, there are parts of you that only appear when the world disappears. There are depths in you that only surface when people are removed. There are strengths in you that only awaken when Allah pushes you into silence. Alone is where Allah strips you from everything you thought you needed, so you can finally see what you actually need. And what you need is Him. You thought you needed people, but they left. You thought you needed validation, but silence replaced it. You thought you needed company, but Allah removed it. You thought you needed attention, but Allah hid you. And in that hiding, in that divine isolation, Allah began the quiet work of revealing your true self. Look at how much you've survived. Look at how deeply you've felt. Look at how much pain you've carried without falling apart. Look at how many nights you wiped your own tears and still woke up the next morning, trying again. You didn't realize it then, but every lonely moment was a training ground. Loneliness trained you to hear your own thoughts. Loneliness trained you to recognize your real emotions. Loneliness trained you to understand what your heart truly wants. Loneliness trained you to stop seeking love from the world and start seeking it from Allah. The world kept telling you who you should be, but alone with Allah, you finally learn who you already are. You are stronger than you think. You are braver than you act. You are deeper than your pain. You are softer than your heartbreak. You are wiser than your mistakes. You are more spiritual than your past ever allowed you to realize. Alone is where Allah takes the broken pieces of you and shows you the masterpiece hiding underneath. This is why isolation hurts so much, because Allah is uninstalling every version of you that was built by pain, by trauma, by people, by society, by expectations, by pressure, by fear. And He is replacing them with a version of you, all that is built by Him. But that cannot happen while you're surrounded by noise. That cannot happen while you're surrounded by the same people who kept you small. That cannot happen while you're surrounded by the conversations that drained your soul. So Allah does something that feels like heartbreak, but is actually love. He puts you alone so you can finally see yourself, without filters, without noise, without opinions, without expectations. And in those quiet hours, and when everyone else is asleep, and your heart is too heavy to rest, that is when Allah reveals to you the real you, the you who survived nights of pain without telling anyone, the you who kept praying even when you were breaking, the you who found strength in places you thought were weakness, the you who held on to faith even when nothing made sense. That is who you really are, and Allah knew you would never see that version until He placed you alone. Alone is where your soul whispers things it never told you before. Alone is where your heart finally speaks. and without being interrupted. Alone is where Allah responds, in ways your spirit feels, even when your ears do not hear. Through loneliness, Allah introduces you to the person He always intended you to become, someone who doesn't break easily, someone who doesn't need crowds, someone who doesn't rely on people, someone whose peace isn't controlled by the presence or absence of others, someone who can walk alone and still feel surrounded by something greater. Because when Allah is with you, you are never truly alone. Even in your quietest nights, your soul is held, your heart is seen, your tears are counted, your fears are known, your prayers are answered before you even speak them. This season of being alone isn't empty, it's full of Allah, full of growth, full of purification, full of hidden mercy, full of spiritual awakening. And one day, when Allah finally reveals the version of you He built in private, you will understand why He isolated you before He elevated you. You will look back at this season and say, I thought I was alone, but Allah was showing me who I truly am. Lesson 8. You were never alone. You were chosen. Here is the truth. There are moments in your life where the loneliness feels heavier than your own body. Moments where the quiet in the room feels louder than any noise you've ever heard. Moments where your heart sits inside your chest, like a weight you can't lift, and you whisper to yourself, why me? Why this? Why does it always feel like I'm walking alone? But here is the whisper your soul has been waiting for. You were never alone. Not for a second, not for a heartbeat, not for a breath. You were chosen. Chosen for a journey that not everyone is strong enough to walk. Chosen for a closeness that not every heart can handle. Chosen for a level of divine attention that not every soul receives. The loneliness you felt was not abandonment. It was Allah pulling you closer in a way the world could never understand. When Allah chooses you, He doesn't always choose you with blessings. Sometimes He chooses you with emptiness. Sometimes He chooses you with silence. Sometimes He chooses you with heartbreak. Sometimes He chooses you with nights that feel heavier than entire years. Because the purest hearts are not shaped by comfort. They are shaped by solitude. Think about the prophets. Every one of them had a moment of divine loneliness. Before their elevation began, Musa stood alone in the desert. Yunus sat alone in the belly of darkness. Yusuf cried alone in the well. Maryam endured pain alone under the tree. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was chosen through nights of quiet worship in the cave. Loneliness was not their punishment. It was their preparation. And your loneliness is not your punishment either. It is your preparation. Preparation for strength. Preparation for clarity. Preparation for purpose. Preparation for the version of you that Allah is shaping quietly. In the hidden corners of your heart, you cried in silence, thinking no one saw you. But Allah counted every tear. You broke quietly, thinking no one noticed. But Allah held every fracture. You sat alone, feeling invisible. But Allah's mercy was wrapped around you, like a blanket you didn't recognize. You were never alone. You were being surrounded in ways your eyes couldn't see. Every time your heart whispered, Ya Allah, I feel so alone, His reply was already echoing in the unseen world. You are with me. There were nights you felt weak, nights you didn't know how to continue, Nights where the weight in your chest, it was heavier than your hope. But still, you kept walking. Still, you kept praying. Still, you kept holding on to faith, even when your hands were shaking. That wasn't your strength. That was Allah carrying you. You were chosen because your heart responds to Him, even when it's breaking. You were chosen because you whisper His name, even when your voice trembles. You were chosen because your soul turns back to Him, even when the world pulls you away. This is not a coincidence. This is not a random phase. This is not your weakness. This is your calling. Allah chooses souls that He wants near Him by placing them in situations where no one else can reach them. When you were left alone, you weren't being abandoned. You were being positioned, moved closer, pulled inward, drawn into a relationship with Allah that no crowd, no person, no worldly comfort could ever have given you. Your loneliness wasn't empty. It was full of divine attention, full of unseen angels, full of mercy you couldn't yet feel, full of protection you didn't recognize, full of love that didn't look like human love, full of Allah. You thought you needed people, but Allah wanted to teach you that you never needed anyone but Him. You thought you needed company, but Allah wanted to teach you that He is the best companion. You thought you needed support, but Allah wanted to teach you that He supports you in ways no human ever could. You thought you needed a hand to hold, but Allah wanted to give you something better, a heart that holds His name through every storm. You were not being punished. You were being purified, purified from attachments that were weakening your spirit, purified from relationships that were draining your heart, purified from fears that were shrinking your soul, purified from illusions that were blocking your destiny. Purification is painful because it removes everything that is not meant for the next version of you. And you are being prepared for a version of yourself that your past could never contain. Every lonely moment, it was a stitch in the fabric of who you are becoming. Every tear was a step toward a future filled with light. Every quiet night was a layer of strength being added to your heart. You didn't know it then, but Allah was rewriting your story in the unseen world. He was rearranging your path. He was sending away the wrong souls. He was bringing the right ones closer. He was preparing doors if you haven't even knocked on yet. He was sending blessings that will make you forget. Every night you cried alone. You were chosen because your soul has a role others don't have, a path only you can walk, a light only you can carry, a test only you can handle, a destiny only your heart is shaped for. And one day, when the blessings arrive, when the doors open, when the peace settles, when the love you prayed for enters your life, when the purpose becomes clear, you will look back at this lonely season and whisper through tears, Ya Allah, I thought you left me, but you were choosing me all along. You were never alone. You were being held. You were being guided. You were being shaped. You were chosen. Before you leave this video, pause for a moment. Just breathe. Because everything you felt in this journey, every memory that surfaced, every ache that returned, every whisper that touched your heart, was not coming from me. It was coming from the One who has been watching over your soul since the day you were created. You didn't come here by chance. You didn't watch this far because you were bored. You watched because your heart recognized a message Allah wrote for you. All the loneliness, all the silence, all the nights you cried alone, all the times you felt forgotten by the world. Now you know you were being carried by Allah in ways you couldn't understand then. Every person that left you was replaced by His closeness. Every door that closed was replaced by His protection. Every tear that fell was replaced by His mercy. Every prayer you whispered, it was heard long before it ever left your tongue. You are not invisible. You are not forsaken. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are chosen. Chosen for a story that is still being written in the unseen world. Chosen for blessings that are on their way to you. Chosen for moments of peace that will make you forget every night you begged for relief. Chosen for a future that will make you thank Allah for every delay and every hardship. And tonight, as this video ends, I want you to carry one truth with you. You were never alone. You were never unloved. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. Allah has been with you. Every second, every step, every moment. He was with you. In your loneliness, He was with you. In your heartbreak, He was with you. In your fear, He was with you. In your confusion, He was with you. In your quiet prayers, He is with you right now. As you listen to this final line, and He will be with you if in every chapter that follows. May Allah heal your heart. May He lift your burden. May He replace your loneliness with peace. May He fill your life with people who protect your soul, who honor your spirit, who carry your dua in their heart. And may He write for you a story so beautiful that every tear you shed, He will finally make sense. Amen. And remember, this isn't the end of your healing. It's the beginning.